but it's the concrete pipes.
Yeah,
You know what I
culvert.
mean? The culvert, yep, to cross. And so we have to follow the engineering standards of the Army Corps of Engineers. They require it to be a certain, length,
Diameter.
width, yeah, all that. And so we have to kind of design it according to what their requirements are and then get a quote for how much that would cost. So that's the first engineering part. The second engineering part is we have to do for the development stormwater and erosion control systems to make sure that we're following the rules for erosion control. And again, it's not that our person has to be it's helpful if you've done it before, but you don't have to be an expert in it so much as be able to follow the rules and then help us, create something or get help, hire somebody else to get that done. And so those are kind of the main elements. Because if you've ever done a subdivision before, because it's a very slow process where we do a lot of work and then there's hardly anything. We also will use our project manager to help do outreach. So you don't have to do any sales, but you might help us get a list of home builders that might be interested in acquiring one of the lots or the local homeowners. And so you might get a list for us and or send out emails or help us with some Facebook ads, something like that. You don't need experience in it. We just need somebody savvy enough to be able to figure out how to do that and get it done. And the reason that we do that is otherwise it wouldn't be full time. It would just be part time because there's going to be times where you get construction estimates or you get permits, but then we have to wait 2 weeks on a survey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the idea is to fill in the gaps with other things that need to be done so that, we keep you working. And the other thing is we understand the pay scale is pretty low. So if you get other contract work, we're happy to support you in that, right? Like so that if you get other job offers or something like that, we want everybody to succeed because we know that this is, going to be like a 6 month project. It's not huge. So we support you and the success for you and your family. So that's basically about the project. But now tell me a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah, so basically, I'm a civil engineer by profession. I have worked for projects in the roads, bridges, and building constructions, but
Oh, great.
nothing on land development projects. But um, yeah, the housing projects, I have no experience with that. And in terms of project management, I could also help you with that. And I just have a little quick question because I did not hear you earlier. Is the outreach for the one who's going to occupy for the lot? Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in our state and in our state of North Carolina, we are not allowed to sell the lots until it's subdivided legally. It's gone through the permitting process and what we call the entitlement process. I don't know what you call it in the Philippines, but here it's called the entitlement process. But in order to actually buy the land, complete payment on the land and pay for surveys and everybody, we have to actually, raise the money. And so what we do here is we create a company and then the people will invest in the company for the exact amount of the lot. So let's say the lot is $256,000. Well, we would have 11 investors who would each get a share. And when the entitlement process is complete, their share in the company converts to their ownership of the lot. And I know it's a little complicated. I'll explain it later. But the point is, during this initial phase, we have to reach out to people who might be interested in buying a lot. So it could be a luxury home builder. It could be a homeowner. It could be a farm enthusiast, those kinds of people. And so we have to get lists together of who we're going to reach out to and then send them inquiry emails. Again, you don't have to do any sales. It's just the outreach of the, like an email or creating a list, that kind of thing. And you don't even have to do that. It's just the ability to fill hours. Um, you know what I mean? If you'd rather just do it part-time and help with the entitlement and the engineering process, that's fine too.
Yeah, I have another question. In terms of gathering some leads about this, do you have any social media platform that we could utilize or create a post like for future developments for the land?
That's wonderful. Yeah, we have to create all that because we're starting from scratch. This
Oh,
project is just vegan. Yeah.
oh, okay, okay.
Yep.
So, do you already had videos for renders of the proposed lot, or you're still on the design phase?
We're still on the design phase. We have a basic layout of where the lots are going to be. Um, and I would introduce you to the architect who's helping with that. Um, so we've started that, and the next part is getting the survey done, so we can actually submit that part of it. And the survey takes about 30 days to schedule. So yeah, so we'll figure that out.
Okay, so everything. So yeah, so that's I was figuring out some of the social media ideas that I could incorporate also that I would love to share later on.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because it would also help you generate your um it would also help us fast track. Though social media marketing is a bit slow at first because we need to find the algorithm of the social media platform that we are going to utilize. And yeah, so that would basically take long. But I hope that while we do the posting and also working on the permit, it will later on um, have a breaking point that they match together. That we have we already had a interested buyer, and also the permits are all are accepted, and yeah, the accepted, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we expect to sell out of the lot shares in the next 30 to 60 days, and the entitlement process takes about 6 months. So we should actually be sold out pretty fast because it's a very unique development and it's at cost. So there's no like it's basically everybody's joining together into the company so that the lots can be subdivided at what the cost is for our area. So my next question is, how do you feel about either supervising or even designing? Again, you don't have to. It's just we're trying to get a feel of where your skills lie for the road crossing and the stormwater and erosion control.
I have to be get familiar if I'm going to design. I have to get familiar with the codes and regulations that we are going to use
Good answer. Yep.
because we on the Philippines we have our code also, and
Hmm.
which is a very differ from different countries. Moreover, in the USA, it has different per county per state. It has different code that is being used. So if I'm going to design, let's give it a shot. And if you're going to
Okay. And
supervise, yeah, for
yeah,
supervision,
and that and if you're designing something, that's clearly going to be at a different pay rate than project management. So, that would be at a higher pay scale of like $15 an hour or something. Um, but yeah, okay. So, and honestly, it shouldn't. if you've designed real engineering stuff, the culvert design and the erosion control, like you said, you're going to have to do research, learn the codes, learn the stuff, but it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's
Moreover,
fairly easy.
I also have to identify the soil properties and do some calculations with it because um, design without calculation would literally intervene with the failure, engineering failure later on. But so it would literally took a lot of time to do that. So let's just hope that we could finish it early.
Yeah. Yep. No worries. Yeah. And it'll take time. Yep. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to tell me? You did a good interview. You're very personable, which is always very nice. And you're very knowledgeable, so that's extra helpful. But we do have other interviews as well, so I wanted to be honest about that. But do you have any other questions for me?
Um, what software, if you are on the design team, what software do you use?
We typically contract out to whoever has their own software. We don't have any design software.
Okay, that's um the thing because I know for sure that there's difference between the US and the Philippines in terms with the software because on your side it's gonna be a paid version, but on our side it's gonna be a pirate version. We we get it on the black web, the
Oh,
version.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so like CAD or something, I don't know.
it would
Yeah.
be CAD, but if if the architect would work on with BIM models, that would also be okay. That would also be great. I'm also
Okay. And
knowledgeable with
we
that.
can talk to her, yeah, about what she uses. But okay, great. Well, that is it for now. I have an interview at 5:30, so I got to pop up here. But it was very nice meeting you, and I will let you know by your morning the end of our day.
Thank you so much. Have a great day for now.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.